Red Bull is in turmoil as Max Verstappen drops a major ultimatum and Mercedes boss Toto Wolff gets involved. With Verstappen's frustrations growing and his future with Red Bull under scrutiny, the situation is heating up. What does this mean for the team's chances and the championship race? Max Verstappen has not won a race since Barcelona, 6 Formula One weekends ago. Lando Norris's decisive victory over him at Zandvoort sent shockwaves through the paddock. With McLaren now boasting the fastest car on the grid, both of their drivers are consistently scoring significant points, quickly closing the gap on Red Bull in the Constructors Championship. Christian Horner, Red Bull's team principal, is dealing with more than just on-track challenges. Internal conflicts have resurfaced, with Jos Verstappen, Max's father, launching a public attack on Horner earlier this season. Despite all allegations being dismissed, Jos criticized Horner's leadership, arguing that his continued presence could tear the team apart. This tension has led to planned departures among senior personnel. Red Bull's struggles on the track. Red Bull's early season dominance allowed Verstappen to secure several wins and build a healthy lead in the championship. However, the team's recent dip in competitiveness has resulted in 5 consecutive races without a win for the Dutch driver. Jos Verstappen has expressed frustration over the decisions made regarding the car's development. Even Horner admitted that McLaren's car was in a different league at Zandvoort, where Norris secured a dominant victory at the Dutch Grand Prix. In a stunning performance at Zandvoort, Lando Norris finished 22.8 seconds ahead of Max Verstappen, marking the largest winning margin of the season. This victory allowed Norris to cut the deficit in the Drivers' Championship to just 70 points. Meanwhile, McLaren also reduced Red Bull's lead in the Constructors' Championship to a mere 30 points, thanks to Oscar Piastri's P4 finish, which outscored Sergio Perez's P6. Red Bull now faces a serious challenge in securing a 3rd consecutive Constructors' title. At Zandvoort, Red Bull introduced several upgrades, including modified mirror stays, halo adjustments, and a specific engine cover tailored for the track. However, these changes didn't provide significant performance gains. In contrast, McLaren's upgrade package propelled them to the front of the field, leaving Red Bull with much work to do if they wanted to stay competitive. Verstappen's frustration is mounting as he feels the limitations of the RB20. His championship lead over Norris is shrinking, and his father, Jos Verstappen, has expressed concerns about the team's direction. Jos believes that Red Bull needs to act quickly to address these issues, especially with recent personnel departures potentially affecting the team's performance. The pressure is on Red Bull to respond before the gap narrows even further and its dominance is challenged. Red Bull's internal challenges have become increasingly apparent, with several key personnel leaving the team. This has raised concerns within the organization, prompting a need for self-reflection. As one team member put it, "We should hold up a mirror to ourselves and not always gloss over everything." There's a growing sentiment that if Red Bull doesn't address these issues soon, it may be too late. The team's lead in the Constructors' Championship is rapidly shrinking, and Max Verstappen is clearly frustrated with the current state of the RB20. With Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri now driving what appears to be the fastest car on the grid, McLaren has emerged as the new favourite for the Constructors' Championship. Their recent success has put immense pressure on Red Bull, whose once comfortable lead is now under threat. Norris's decisive victory at Zandvoort, especially in Verstappen's home country, has sent shockwaves through the paddock. Christian Horner and the Red Bull team face a daunting task, getting back on track before it's too late. The fact that Red Bull may need to revert to the car's early season setup speaks volumes about their current struggles. As McLaren gains momentum, the 70-point lead that Verstappen once enjoyed in the Drivers' Championship no longer feels secure. With 9 race weekends remaining, Red Bull's path to defending their title looks more challenging than ever. Red Bull's initial setback, a minor blip or a sign of trouble? What began as a minor setback at tracks like Miami and Monaco, where Red Bull struggled with the RB20's performance on bumpier surfaces, has now extended to circuits where they used to dominate. Initially, these issues were brushed off as anomalies, but it's clear they've exposed deeper weaknesses in the car's design. Max Verstappen, always candid in his assessments, had been raising concerns for months, warning that their competitors were closing the gap faster than anticipated. Verstappen's warnings were not just empty words. He has been vocal, both publicly and privately, about the need for Red Bull to step up their game. His concerns were initially met with reassurances, but the Dutch driver knew that the situation was far more serious. In general, everybody has come closer, he noted, emphasizing that this wasn't a normal situation for a team accustomed to leading the pack. Verstappen's frustration has grown as Red Bull has struggled to extract more performance from the RB20, a car that once seemed unbeatable. Meanwhile, McLaren has made significant strides, adding to their game-changing Miami upgrades with another successful package in the Netherlands. These upgrades have dramatically improved their aerodynamic efficiency, making them a formidable opponent on the track. In contrast, Red Bull has been forced to revert some of its updates from Hungary, with technical director Pierre Wacher admitting that they may have hit the ceiling of what the RB20 can achieve this season. During the Hungarian Grand Prix, Max Verstappen's frustration reached a boiling point. Red Bull's much-anticipated upgrades failed to deliver the expected improvements, leaving Verstappen visibly upset. His disappointment was evident when he vented over the team radio, criticizing his race engineer Gianpiero Lambiase for the strategy he was given. The tension was clear, but the situation was resolved a week later in Spa, where Verstappen and Lambiase cleared the air and refocused on the task ahead. After noticing that the RB20 wasn't responding to his inputs as he expected, Verstappen found himself unable to keep McLaren's Lando Norris at bay. Realizing that pushing harder could risk his race, he shifted to a more conservative strategy, focusing on securing second place rather than trying to maintain pressure on Norris. There was nothing that I could do, so once he passed, I just focused on doing my race, Verstappen explained. His pragmatic approach ensured he still earned valuable points, even if it wasn't the result he had hoped for. Verstappen acknowledged that the Hungarian Grand Prix was simply a bad weekend overall, but he also noted that the last few races had already shown signs of trouble. The last few races haven't really been fantastic, so that was a bit alarming, he admitted. Despite this, Verstappen urged calm within the team, emphasizing that there was no need to panic. "We are just trying to improve the situation, and that's what we are working on," he added, recognizing the complex nature of Formula One and the constant need for adaptation. Brundle's theory, Verstappen sending a message. After the race in Zandvoort, Sky F1 pundit Martin Brundle shared an intriguing theory about Max Verstappen's performance. Brundle speculated that Verstappen did not drive to his full potential, possibly as a way to send a message to Red Bull. According to Brundle, the gap between Lando Norris and Verstappen became unusually large during the race, leading him to believe that Verstappen might have been holding back to prompt Red Bull into taking action against the growing threat posed by McLaren in both championships. Brundle commented, "I would hazard a guess that was not as fast as Max could go. He knew he couldn't beat Lando, and dropping back a bit like that is going to give the factory a hurry up, isn't it? I'd be pretty sure of that." Verstappen himself admitted that he did reduce his pace, but his explanation was more pragmatic. Once he realized that winning the race was out of reach, he chose to back off slightly to ensure he could bring the car home safely. "I'm not really surprised by what McLaren was doing, we just have to do it a little bit better," Verstappen reflected. He described the race as very challenging, struggling with the car's balance and tyre wear, which made it difficult to execute the racing lines he preferred. The car wasn't responding, he noted, adding that he could feel the race slipping away. With 5 laps remaining and the situation not improving, Verstappen decided to ease off the throttle, focusing on securing second place, rather than risking a DNF by pushing too hard. "I knew it was completely over with 5 laps to go, so I got off a bit of the throttle to just bring it to the end," he explained. Despite the challenges, Verstappen took a philosophical view, saying, "If being P2 means being sad, I'll take that." The Formula One championship battle has taken a surprising turn. Max Verstappen's once strong lead is shrinking as Lando Norris and the improving McLaren team close in. Internal tensions at Red Bull and doubts about the team's direction make things even tougher for Christian Horner and his crew. Now, the big question now is whether Red Bull can regroup and defend their title, or if McLaren will keep gaining and overtake them. So what do you think? Can Red Bull bounce back and win the championship again, or is McLaren the new team to beat? Comment below and subscribe for more.